Buzz up in the house. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi there and hi there.
Good morning to everybody.
I'm having trouble hearing you. You're going to need to share that microphone just a little bit more.
Well, we've got a little way we do that.
That a little way. The boy's got a little way.
Hey, you know, speaking of antiques, what about this radio station? Didn't it just turn 60?
Well, in March, we turned 60.
Yeah.
So we have been Manchester's hometown station for over 60 years. We're pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
And
You think 2 more years from now, the poor little radio station could draw Social Security?
Maybe. Maybe a good little something. Brian is your normal board op, and he is not here today, but all the rest of the boys are here. I'm Tiffany. I just push the buttons. Why don't you reintroduce yourselves to people, for folks? Maybe this is their first time tuning in. Tell them what this is and what you boys are doing.
Well, I guess I'm the oldest, so I'll start out. I'm the antique in the bunch. I'm Ray Seckler. Let's see, what am I?
Well, you're a retired tour bus driver, police. I mean, I don't know what all you did. Private eye.
The unlearned, uneducated, a little bit of everything, okay. But anyway, I'm the antique of the bunch, and we're going to talk some antiques today.
All right. I'm Ronnie Branch. I had to turn the microphone around because me and Ray are sharing. I don't know what you would call me.
Well, I think you're.
You've been called naughty boy and other things.
I've been called a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're a housing. Aren't you some kind of manager for a housing?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you're a good electrician and good plumber. And
Yeah,
you
but
know,
I didn't want to advertise on the radio. I
well,
didn't want to get
but listen though,
advertising.
and you are an expert when it comes to Star Wars. You and this character right beside.
Are you a Star Wars like junkie?
Yeah.
Like, is that your jam?
That's him.
At one
Star
time
Wars?
I had one of the biggest collections in the Mid-South.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
So,
All right. Well, I'm Philip Scoggins. I am the Channel 6 representative who's supposed to be running the camera, but David had me come over to this side of the table.
the dark side.
Yeah, so that because I used to just sit on the other side and shout out Google answers to stuff. So he put me in front of a microphone. So
Well,
now the star.
Now, Dave, have you been here since the show began?
yeah. This show this fall will be 18 years old, and when 18 years ago, this fall, the boys that had the station before you, I guess you bought it from them. They said, "Why don't you come over and let's do a show on antiques?" They said, "I bet we could do 1 or 2 shows."
I bet.
And so we never slowed up. I mean, people started calling in, and they would stop some of the owners out in the public, say, "That's a really good show."
Well, it's we just did a survey of our listeners on our website.
Yeah.
Folks fill out the survey, and Let's Talk Antiques is very popular.
Yeah.
It's
You think
very
it's
popular,
because
guys.
of Ray and Ronnie and
And you?
I think that sometimes because there might be shenanigans, and people are genuinely interested in the things that you folks are talking
well,
about.
I'll tell you what. I tell people I'm not just a collector, and I think Ronnie and I know it's Ray's got a few things too, and I'm not I'm an investment collector. I look at it like the stock market. I invested in it not only to have it stock the restaurant, of course. The Jiffy Burger's got to have all that stuff.
And you use a lot of your collections,
Yeah.
a lot
Well,
of your
we rotate
collections
it
for
all the time.
decor. Yeah.
Matter of fact, a big car club, one of them national car clubs, is coming to the warehouse Saturday to go through it. They seen us on American Pickers.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And this is a live program, by the way. So if you have a question for our guys, the phone lines are open 728-1320 or 728-3526. We welcome your calls.
Okay, so
What's on the agenda for today?
all right. So today we're going to talk about NASA mix-up brings 1.8 million payday for a seller, and then we're going to talk about comic books and Comic-Con. That's what is that show that them boys is always going to that?
Star Wars, Star Trek?
No, it's real popular.
Big Bang?
Yeah, the Big Bang. They're always going to it, right? So I think they made it more popular.
They probably help you.
And then last week, if we get to it, you know how this show works. If we get to it, we was going to talk about typewriters and pedal bulldozers and pedal cars and Radio Fest.
Okay.
So let's start out with NASA.
Okay. All right.
it's an auction story that most only dream about. In this case, a Chicago area woman selected a federal online auction site looking for memorabilia to add to her collection. And she stumbled across an item that was a bag labeled Lunar Sample Return. And after nobody bidded during the first 3 auctions, she snatched it up for $995. So 18 months later, a New York auction house just sold the small bag for $1.8 million, and it contained 500 grams of small rocks and moon dirt collected from the moon's surface. Nancy Lee Carlson of Illinois, a collector who has an interest in space memorabilia, hit pay dirt when she won the online auction of a bag of NASA scientists later identified containing moon dust collected by Apollo astronaut Neil Armstrong during his famous lunar moonwalk. The bag is 12 by 8.5 inch. Ordinary looking, was made of white beta cloth and polyester with rubberized nylon and a brass zipper. Printed on the outside in bold capital letters was Lunar Sample Return. After winning the auction, she sent the bag to NASA for testing, and after discovering its importance, NASA decided to keep it. That resulted in a galactic federal court fight that Carlson later won. It was later discovered that due to an error in NASA's cataloging system, the bag was confused with a later lunar landing and was mistakenly sold in the federal auction. The federal judge ordered the government to return it after acknowledging that it shouldn't have gone up for auction in the first place. It was returned to Carlson in February. She reportedly told several media outlets at the time she decided to sell the bag since she didn't think it would be safe in her home. The bag has been previously auctioned in an earlier federal restitution case involving a Kansas City man, Max Airy, the former director of the Kansas Cosmosphere Museum in Hutchinson, Kansas. Airy had been in prison for 2 years for stealing artifacts and selling them in space auctions. Following his conviction, Airy's private collection, including this bag, had been seized by the government and forfeited to the United States Marshal Service. Normally in federal cases, the Marshal Service ends up retaining a private auction company to sell seized property and uses the auction proceeds to repay victims of the crime. And at no time was NASA ever aware of the federal auction, and only later reluctantly acknowledged its goof after losing track of the moon bag after it had been returned from space. The Sotheby's declined to name the buyer of the lunar prize, which the auction house said was the rarest space artifact ever sold at any auction. Carlson says she intends to share a portion of the sales proceeds with a number of charities and plans to set up a scholarship for students studying speech pathology at her alma mater of Northern Michigan University. So, that's pretty awesome.
They sold some other stuff too, didn't they?
They did.
What else was it they sold there?
Let's see. Another top seller at Sotheby's auction was flown Apollo 13 flight plan from March 16th, 1970. Mission was handwritten notes by all 3 Apollo crew members, James Lovell, Jack Swigert, and Ken Mattingly. It sold for $250,000. And they also sold a 15 3/4 inch color photograph of Armstrong's crewmate Buzz Aldrin, taken by Armstrong, of Aldrin standing on the moon's surface at Tranquility Base for $35,000. 7 times its estimated selling value. A silver gelatin print measuring 16 by 20 inches of man's first look at the Earth from the moon, shot on August 23, 1966 during the Lunar Orbiter 1 mission, sold for $17,500, 3 times higher than expected. And a color photograph signed by Aldrin of him standing next to the American flag on the moon's surface sold for $17,500, after their top estimate was $1,500. The auction offered more than 40 items related to the Apollo 11 mission. Also a 10-inch tall Snoopy astronaut doll, signed and designed as a mascot to Apollo 10 lunar module pilot Gene Cernan, sold for 10 times an estimate at $27,500, and it was also autographed by Cernan.
They had a
That's
shop
pretty
on there,
awesome.
'cause that was Jack
Hey.
Swigert.
Yeah, okay.
What did you say about that cover on that, Ronnie?
If you watch the Ron Howard film Apollo 13, when they were making, they had to make an adapter for their scrubbers because one of them took round cartridges and the other one took square. Well, they ripped the cover off the flight plan and used that for part of their adapter they made with duct tape, plastic bag, and that cover. And a piece of
That is interesting.
yeah.
Okay, so like we always do,
Pulled it up on eBay.
yeah, just to see if this stuff really brings some money.
So I found this auction, the Apollo 11.
That's the auction.
Yeah, where Sothersby sold this. It says 1.5
Well,
million.
that's not counting the fee.
Not count.
buyer's
So
premium
so
made the difference.
so
$300,000 worth of buy fee.
Sothersby made $300,000 on this auction. That's not a bad
That's not
commission
bad for
there.
getting all those
Yeah.
collectors together.
Okay, so that's the highest thing that sold. Next would be a lunar globe, signed by first spacewalker Alexei Leonov and 8 astronauts.
That was a Russian cosmonaut.
yeah. Oh, the Russians were landing on the moon.
No, that was spacewalk.
Space-
He just got out of his.
Oh, okay.
spacewalk.
All right, that makes sense. Okay, not moonwalker,
Not
spacewalker.
moonwalker.
There you go. Okay,
Now
thank
stay-
you for clearing up my.
Stay with him there, Philip.
All right. Okay, there were 37 bids on it. It went for $38,000. Next is a lunar landscape mural by Chesley Bonestell. It was from 1957, and it went for $32,000 with 28 bids.
Doggone. That's it. But that's at that big famous auction house,
Yeah.
right? All this stuff right now that
All
you're
this,
talking
all
about.
the top
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
came from
Sotheby's.
Sothersby. Yeah. Here's a Luna 9 automatic lunar station spacecraft model. So this would have been one of the original models. 26 bids on it, went for $30,000. Apollo 16 Charlie Duke on the lunar surface, color photograph signed by Charlie Duke. 49 bids on that for $30,000.
Golly. But that is a piece of history.
Yeah, absolutely. Apollo 11 flight checklist sheet taken to the lunar surface. 4 bids on that at $26,000. Apollo 11 large lunar chart signed by a member of every lunar flight crew. 7 bids on that for $24,000. Here's man's first look at the Earth from the moon. So it's not an incredible quality shot, but it's the first photo of the Earth from the moon. $14,000 after 23 bids.
That was pretty good for 66 technology.
Yeah,
69, wasn't it?
That was 66. It
Yeah.
was not from the orbiter.
yeah. From the
Oh,
orbit,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought they actually stood on the moon and took a picture.
Now this is on the moon. Apollo 17. Gene Cernan driving the lunar rover in the Valley of Taurus, and it's got a whole thing that he wrote on it and autographed. 31 bids for $13,000. Lunar orbiter, oversized view of the of part of the moon. 2 bids on it was $12,000. Apollo 11, Neil Armstrong photographs Aldrin with lunar experiments. Vintage color photo. 29 bids on that went for $8,500. Boy, this would be cool stuff to have,
I'm
wouldn't
telling
it?
you.
Any of it.
I tell you,
All of
I
it.
would love to have any of these.
They ain't got
things,
down
you
to
know?
my price yet.
No, that's
Where do
say
you
these
get
are
stuff like
these
that?
are you get it from NASA.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's all there is of it.
Yeah, and it's not like we've been to the moon lately either.
Well,
So
we don't even have the means to get back to the moon
There
almost
you
50
go.
years later.
yep,
You'd think we'd have made more progress by now.
you would hope. Apollo 11.
8 years cost us that.
There you go. Apollo 11, Aldrin's crew signed a postal cover postmarked on the lunar landing. That's a postcard from the moon. $8,000 with 5 bids on that. Apollo 11, the lunar team seen through pictures. It's just where Apollo 11 signed it. $8,000 with 20 bids. Apollo 17, Gene Cernan setting up the final lunar flag. Color photographs signed. 17 bids, $8,000. Here's Apollo 16 flown lunar surface flag with excellent provenance. It's a.
So that must be one of those small flags, right?
Yeah,
Like a little. See what it says.
Let's
What
look
size?
at that.
I bet it's going to be one of those little ones,
20
like a 4x6 or something.
22 bids. It was $7,750. Yep, 4 by 5.5
Yeah.
inches.
So they could haul a lot of those flags up there.
The flag was given to me by the crew upon their return. Has been in my possession ever since.
Did he work in the flight ring or something? Did you say?
I think it says his mother did there, didn't it?
Was working
No, I
with
just
me,
made that up,
astronauts
Ronnie,
and
just see if you
crew.
believe that.
I was pleased to offer this piece again.
I wonder what he said.
Well, I told you, I think his mother said it.
You never know.
Hey, let's take a break and figure this out.
Hello, I'm Pickin' Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in and get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy picking!
My name's John Hirschman. I'm one of the original 6 owners of P&H Rentals. Started the company 30 years ago when we saw a need for individual, construction, industrial, and commercial storage. We have trailers and containers for lease and sell. Our physical location is 2947 Old Manchester Highway, Tullahoma, Tennessee. My phone number is area code 931-273-4252.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
We would like to thank Dr. David Florence for supporting Let's Talk Antiques. See Dr. Florence at 804 Kalon Street in Manchester for all of your medical needs. Call 728-5522 for your appointment today. Most insurances accepted.
All right, we're back now. The old Max, I run into him the other morning, and Donna said when he learned the rules that he could come back out and play some.
So he don't know the rules.
He don't know the rules.
Well, he stopped by to see me, and I don't want Donna to find out that he did. It's more likely to be a secret on the radio.
That's probably against the rules.
Yeah, is it? And so all he wanted to talk about was Harley Davidsons.
Is he bought him a Harley?
Which was a good subject. He always had one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trade.
I tell you what, Max is interesting. He'd ride to Daytona, rain or shine, when they went to the, and he's come back with snow all over him, from that. So back to the.
Oh, I left that.
Back to the moon.
It was a long time.
So past the.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's
it
that
didn't
watch?
give Too much detail. It's just a lunar.
Okay.
It didn't go to the moon. Apollo 11, the history of the manned Apollo lunar spacecraft, signed by 12. Let's see. Sorry, dead air.
Nah, it ain't.
12 astronauts or something.
12 something.
I don't need to abbreviate.
They abbreviated. They cut something off. Okay, signed by 12 Apollo astronauts. There you go, with their flight numbers. So that's pretty nice.
How much that bring?
That brought
$7,500?
$7,500 with 19 bids on that. They also had Lunar Orbiter 2. There's a photo from Lunar Orbiter 2 in November 22nd, 1966, of the surface of the moon. 15 bids on that for $6,500. Apollo 11, Aldrin descends to the lunar surface, color photograph, signed by Buzz Aldrin.
Those are pieces that should be in a space museum.
I would wonder why they wouldn't.
Why would they get rid of that?
Maybe they just have so much that
They don't need the money.
I don't know. Maybe they do need the money. You never know.
They should have put
Nowadays.
that in a space museum.
You know, I bet you don't, Ronnie. There is no telling how many thousands of pieces they got.
Oh God.
Hey, and they actually gave some of those rocks away. And
With
they
testing and stuff, yeah.
they actually can,
Scientists, right.
like a foreign, other countries, they would goodwill thing. They would
Right.
give them a piece of the rock, but they can actually test that rock to make sure it comes from the moon some way. I mean,
Yeah.
So
I couldn't tell you how, but yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard
Probably
that.
the properties of the mass.
Yeah.
Gravity.
yeah, it probably has to the way it's made up. Yeah, it has to be that way, right?
Well, anyway, that photo brought $6,500 after 21 bids.
Golly.
Here's a good one. I like this.
like that one.
Here's a lunar sample collection bag, Apollo 11.
Just a bag.
Just the bag that they picked up rocks with off the moon. 11 bids, $6,000.
That's just like
Yeah.
that bag we saw a while ago.
Yeah, except it had stuff in it.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the one with
Yeah.
with
You-
with the.
I know.
rocks.
I know y'all heard this story, but I mean, I actually watched all that in '69.
I did
But
too.
but there is people that believe that this thing was actually shot out in the desert somewhere, and it's not true, and all that.
This really happened.
Yeah. Have you heard that before? The
I've heard.
conspiracy.
I've looked.
Arizona.
Have you? Yeah.
I've looked up some stuff online because you never know.
And what did you
saw some
find
stuff.
out?
It wasn't enough stuff to convince me that it was fake.
There's always
Yeah.
conspiracy.
So, but didn't they leave a flag on the moon?
True, and I can't
and
see
there's
it.
a rover. The rovers are there, David.
Yeah,
There's lots of stuff still there that we
Yeah.
left.
Okay, so why can't they? Why can't?
Go back up
Yeah,
behind it.
but I mean, why can't just from they got telescopes that can see all that, right?
True. And one of the convincing things is they put a mirror on the moon aimed back at the Earth, and a laser hits that mirror, and it does something to measure the distance of the Earth. So that's one of the real convincing things is putting that mirror.
But you know what? No matter what,
LiDAR's what they call
no
it.
matter what happens, some big event, there's always that conspiracy thing.
Always.
Every time.
Always. Yes.
Gotta make
that's
a
what
living.
Kills me.
I mean,
But here's the thing: most of the engineers that designed those engines that took us to the moon for the Saturn V rocket, they're dead or they're retired. They're no longer around. And these new guys have never built any of those. They have found one of them, and they're reverse engineering is what they're doing for their new engine.
yeah. I tell you, I don't understand why we had to have that break in the NASA deal.
It's
Why
'cause
did
it
we?
cost so much money.
I know,
mean,
but-
it was
But I mean, once you're
Just a
a
committed,
lot of money.
but once you're committed to do something like that,
I just think we didn't find anything that was, that we had to have.
but
up there.
you know what? Why didn't they just keep going to the moon then?
That's
Go
a
and
jumping
building,
point.
setting
You know,
things
like
that
it's
setting things up on the moon.
don't
I mean,
yeah.
they could have done that pretty reasonable compared to all the other stuff.
Yeah, well,
right?
I think Apollo 13 could have had something to do with it too.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that could have taken a little wind out of the sails, and that it scared everybody.
Well, they
Scared a couple of guys a lot.
The whole world watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they could have used the moon
Well-
as a jumping point to take us further.
But
Yeah.
Put us in place.
promotion is everything. You was just talking about earlier about timing.
Yep.
The promotion of something. If you promote that, like if it had landed on the moon again and again, after a while, the big talk was probably going to be, when are we actually going to take tourists up there? That's the kind of stuff. That's how you promote the thing where people want to spend the money. And if you don't promote it that way, then people's always fussing about how much it costs, which you
Now,
brought
since
up.
the government's
Yeah.
not doing it, we have private companies that
Yeah.
are doing
Yeah.
it.
That's
Yeah.
what
Elon Musk's.
Elon Musk. SpaceX is doing some amazing stuff.
They're
Yeah,
doing great.
he plans to go pretty soon.
I saw a video of his wire. You know, he makes his own engines. He don't
Yeah.
buy those Russian engines
Yeah.
like the other companies do.
Mm-hmm.
He built his own.
He built his own. The guy's a engine.
Well, is he the guy that's talking about actually taking people to the moon?
You're talking, well,
Oh, there was one of them that was
there's-
promoting
there's
that.
2 or 3
I
of
don't
them.
know about that.
Okay, they're talking about that, right?
They're getting there.
Yeah.
I think in the end it's going to be a private company that takes us there.
It's pretty exciting now, just visiting Chicago.
Just about the same risk. All right, here's another good one. Here's an Apollo 11 lunar module battery. So one of the batteries in the lunar module. Man,
I wonder if Apollo 11.
yep. 11 bids, $3,200. That would be a unique item to have. There you go. Let's see. Let me jump to another one. So you dropped over to. I did a search for NASA. Here's a collection of 3 planetary globes manufactured for NASA in 1981. They're beautiful globes. $6,500 with 17 bids. Next is a NASA Apollo 11 and 12 flown samples of wastewater. There are 5 bottles of that, and it's $5,000. And we had to look up to make sure that it wasn't something too disgusting, but they said it was sweat and humidity from the the
That's
astronauts,
amazing, though.
or condensation from their breathing. Actually, yeah. And so they just
Wants to buy that?
They did buy it for $5,000.
$5,000.
And it looks like those bottles are about the size of the kind that, like when you get a shot, you know how they'll draw something from one of those bottles? You know what I'm talking about, one of those little small.
Yep.
It looks more like a vial instead of a bottle.
Yeah, and that was from a private seller. I was see if he had anything other.
Well, click on sold and see what he sold. See if that
All right.
private seller sold anything besides that. Yeah.
He's got
Well,
a
there
lot
you
of
are.
Stuff. He's probably got some.
But he hadn't sold nothing. That was the most expensive.
That
piece.
was
Yes.
that was his most unique. The rest of it, he appears to be a ham radio kind of guy. Okay, let's see what else we got.
My question is, how'd the ham radio guy get that?
Maybe you're all your engineering types have been into ham radio just about.
So they
seems,
all kind of swapped.
I
credit.
remember that in Apollo 11 photographs that they
Yeah.
put at the bottom.
Yeah. Well, here's the Apollo 11 crew signed NASA photo. This was part of the Sotheby's auction, so this is from NASA. $5,000 with 7 bids. Here's a Neil Armstrong signed 8x10 NASA photo, PSA graded. This is private seller. $5,000 was to buy it now on that.
That private seller's in Singapore.
Oh, it was. Yeah, right.
How do you get that?
Here's Paul Hanley, the voice of NASA, exceptionally annotated flight plan. So this is a flight plan for Apollo 8. $4,600. Wow.
That would have been a mission where they just orbited it.
This is a large lot of NASA, Apollo, and shuttle flown objects, including 10 Snoopy silver pins. So just a mixture of things. So the Apollo
Look what
11
it
to the
brought.
shuttles, $4,500. It's quite a collection.
Pretty good.
Makes me wonder if that's an estate sale. Rare Apollo reunion 1986 poster signed by 18 NASA astronauts. $4,500 with 3 bids.
nice.
That would be very nice.
Hey, J.I. Daniel, he just passed away a few months ago. He's a really good fellow. But he actually worked with NASA.
Yeah.
And he had some really cool NASA stuff.
Really?
Yeah, he had a lot of signatures and stuff,
Who
too.
got his stuff?
His son, I'm sure. Yeah, he's got a family that he left all that to.
Yeah, if I was
But he was a fine fellow, wasn't he, Ray?
Yeah, I'll tell you, just sit down and talk to J.I., you wouldn't have never believed he never spoke much about all that.
No.
I told him one day, I said, J.I., just to sit down and talk to you, I wouldn't have thought you had that much in you. And he just laughed.
He's a sharp guy.
Yeah, he was very intelligent.
Really sharp.
Very intelligent man.
All right, so you got, is that a NASA helmet?
No, well, it's a Buzz Aldrin signed full-size replica lunar helmet from Apollo 11. But Buzz Aldrin signed it, or Buzz
Hey.
Armstrong. I mean, sorry, not Aldrin.
But you know, J.I. and I, we didn't ever argue about
Buzz
space. and
Buzz
nothing.
Aldrin,
We always
yeah.
argued about
It says
Alabama
Armstrong
and
on the
Tennessee.
list,
There you are.
but I don't know. But you can see on it, it says
Yeah.
Buzz.
That's
Buzz
really
Aldrin.
cool, though.
Somebody trying to pull it
I
up.
always wanted my little granddaughter Haley went to school with Hoot Gibson's daughter
Yeah.
at Webb, and I always told her, I said, "Now Haley, you need to talk Hoot Gibson in to give me one of his spacesuits," but I never did get it.
Hey,
Now I'm looking for anything
you should
to.
have took her to visit.
Yeah, I know it. I should have.
Here's a NASA 11 press release. A press
Apollo
release
11.
photo collection for 10 photos.
Oh, okay. So they sent them.
Yeah.
They sent that out with a press release.
Yeah. So these would be there's 4 bids on that for $2,600.
For a press release.
Yeah, those all just come in emails now, so those aren't very collectible anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you do, you have to keep them on a little thing.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean I don't think you can just make as many copies
tell
as
you what.
you want. So
Look, let's talk a little bit more about NASA, but let's take a break so you can push that button.
okay.
You're good at that, right? Pushing
I
the
am.
button?
Hello, I'm Pickin' Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in and get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy picking!
My name's John Hirschman. I'm one of the original 6 owners of P&H Rentals. Started the company 30 years ago when we saw a need for individual, construction, industrial, and commercial storage. We have trailers and containers for lease and sell. Our physical location is 2947 Old Manchester Highway, Tullahoma, Tennessee. My phone number is area code 931-273-4252.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
We would like to thank Dr. David Florence for supporting Let's Talk Antiques. See Dr. Florence at 804 Kalon Street in Manchester for all of your medical needs. Call 728-5522 for your appointment today. Most insurances accepted.
There's something pretty unique is a boot assembly, NASA astronaut spacesuit, sock, international latex. Okay, so these appear to be socks that would go inside of your spacesuit. And the guy who got them just thought it was random things and started researching about it and found out that they were really unique and rare. And he's has a whole article written about it. It's so rare that 2 of them sold for $1,880 after 25 bids.
That's rare.
That's a start on a spacesuit.
So yeah, there you go. You got to start with something. You
Well,
might as
you
well
gotta
start with
have
socks.
them. Well, but you got to have them before you can put your space boots on, right?
Exactly. So we're like I say, we've gotten down below $2,000, but we're still, man, space stuff is
Hey,
expensive.
those replica spacesuits aren't bad.
Here's a
Yeah, but look
replica
how much they
NASA
are.
Apollo spacesuit, $1,700 for buy it
I
now.
wonder if it's functional.
No, I don't think that's much. We'd let you try it though, and let us
I don't
know.
think I'd want to try it.
Well, what we could do, Ryan, we could get you a
Put me in a vacuum.
vacuum cleaner hose on it, and we'll stick you under a big pond or something. Let us know if it'll take some water.
There you go.
We'll do it.
Here's
I would try it.
Yeah, you might as well try it. Yeah, NASA Apollo 10 heat shield in a lucite paperweight. That was a buy it now for
Is that a piece of the
$1,700.
You remember that one that broke off, and the federal government told you better not be picking it up? Remember coming into Texas or somewhere?
Oh, that was the shuttle. Yeah,
okay, yeah, but parts of it.
Parts
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
I'm surprised. I guess nobody wants to stick that on
Yeah,
eBay because
that-
it'll get you in trouble.
That would be that.
You know, I
dark
bet you
web
everybody didn't
sales.
give it back. What do you say?
I wouldn't.
There you go.
I'm just saying.
Just
Gotta be
saying.
honest.
You don't have any, but if you did, you wouldn't.
If I did, I would.
Yeah,
They'd
okay.
have to come after me to get it.
Okay. All
Well,
right.
if they come and ask me for it, I'd probably give it to them.
Yeah, they'd have to ask.
Yeah.
though,
Yeah.
right?
have
They
to
have
ask.
to ask.
The truth will set you free, Ronnie, but not in all cases.
Here is a Japanese NASA Moon Explorer 60s toy. So we're getting up into the toys, getting up into the
From
into the
United
authentic
Kingdom.
things. Yeah. So the 8 bids on this Apollo
toy.
Moon Explorer toy went for $1,516. Here is it says it's a space helmet visor, NASA Apollo with gold optical finish.
Is it a real
So,
one?
It's sold for $1,500 with 22 bids, you know?
You know, one of Howard Hughes' companies built the first lander.
Oh, they did.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Hughes Tool and Die.
No,
Ain't
no,
that
no.
what the company that goes by?
That's one company, but he's got more.
But is that the one that built all that stuff?
He built missiles,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
He did a lot of military
Okay.
stuff.
This person here said that
They're
with
big
the
on
the
visor?
the visor, sorry, yeah, said he purchased a box that looked like astronaut spacesuit related items. Thought that it was novelty, but then found out that some of them were real, and started reading the labels, and the labels and receipts were dated ranging from 1968 to 1970. So he has not authenticated anything, but from the evidence of all the stuff in there, he believes it's real.
But it's from the NASA training program, ain't that what it says
yeah,
right there?
yeah. So there you go.
You never know what a box of junk will bring.
Never know. Gosh, I jumped to my stuff.
I bet he
there.
bought it for low and nothing.
What's that cigarette lighter?
1969 NASA moon landing Zippo with inscription, brand new in box, $1,300 to buy it now. Man, here's a tool utility pocket from the NASA Apollo program. It's a spacesuit bag holder. So this is what would hold your bag while you were on the surface of the moon looking for stuff. 49 bids, $1,300. Let's see. Yeah. NASA 1968 astronaut helmet stowage bag.
That's what you put your helmet in.
Keep your helmet in. The 19 bids, $1,267. It is. This stuff is still.
What's that look like a pair of Nikes?
Oh yeah. No, that's just a Nike's Mars shoe.
Yeah, look what it brought though.
It brought from 800 to 1,250 were the buy it nows on that. Man, that's a
Ain't
good.
that something?
That's a pretty good investment on a Nike there. NASA Silver Snoopy Award, letter, pin, and photograph. They were asking $1,600. Took a best offer that was over $1,200. Let's see. NASA Space Explorer 1 rocket nose cone, plus the box, is a replica backup. Heavy aluminum, $1,000 with the buy it now. Official mission Apollo, is that Apollo 11?
Yeah.
Mission plaque, one of a kind, removed from NASA facility. Huh. I don't know about that. They were asking $3,800 and got $1,000
I
for
would
it.
have to know the story on that one.
Mm-hmm.
There's some more shoes bringing big money.
Space Camp Nikes,
That's
$995.
Oh, I bet you that's where, when the kids go to space camp
Yeah.
and you can buy souvenirs.
Oh, well, this is Tom Sachs' Mars Yard shoe from the 2017 Space Camp.
Wow.
Okay.
That's what the
There's
story on
a
the shoes.
couple of shoes, and the boxes look like they're autographed. So, okay.
So it would pay a
So-
person to go to space camp and just buy a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know who Tom Sachs is, but I would assume he's an astronaut. So,
Well, he must be somebody. He brought
Correct.
$1,000.
let's see. Here's a tube tester calibrated by NASA that brought $970 with 22 bids. Tube testers used to be in the drugstore. Remember those when you'd come in the
Oh,
door?
yeah.
Yeah, dude, I have not seen a tube tester in a long time. Apollo 17 final flight plan, October 23rd, 1972, and report of Apollo.
That was the last mission.
Tell you what, let's
$950 supposed to buy it now on those.
free shipping too. Don't forget that part.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, listen, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll finish up some more of this.
Hello, I'm Pickin' Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in and get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy picking!
My name's John Hirschman. I'm one of the original 6 owners of P&H Rentals. Started the company 30 years ago when we saw a need for individual, construction, industrial, and commercial storage. We have trailers and containers for lease and sell. Our physical location is 2947 Old Manchester Highway, Tullahoma, Tennessee. My phone number is area code 931-273-4252.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
We would like to thank Dr. David Florence for supporting Let's Talk Antiques. See Dr. Florence at 804 Kalon Street in Manchester for all of your medical needs. Call 728-5522 for your appointment today. Most insurances accepted.
Okay, so we only got a few more minutes, so we decided to look up space toys since
Always
all
a
that
good
high dollar NASA stuff. So what about high dollar toys?
Yeah.
Well,
Some of it brought more some of the NASA
here's
stuff.
outer
Yeah.
space men
Thing related
who
to
bought
space.
Alpha 7 Cosmic Creator toy. $10,000. Supposed to buy it now. So that's as much as lots of stuff that came back from the moon.
Oh, yeah. Far into the moon.
1960 Nomura Volkswagen Space Patrol battery operated car. It's a Space Beetle from 1960s. From
neat?
Japan, near mint in box, 29 bids, sold for $7,000. Man.
Now we're talking about toys, folks.
Yes.
We're past the NASA stuff
Yeah,
now.
this next
So
one's a
give us
wooden
another
toy.
toy.
Okay, so this is one-of-a-kind battery-operated wood toy rocket boat, 34 inches long. One-of-a-kind wood means it's handmade, wouldn't you assume?
And you put those testes engines in it. Testers, whatever you call them.
Estes.
STS something.
Yeah, $1,500 for that. Man.
Well, what about the spaceman?
Cragston Daya astronaut robot battery-powered toy made in Japan from 1960, $1,300. Battery-operated space tank, rare. Well, obviously, $1,300 was to buy it now on that. Let's like that. Here's the toy that showed up in our lunar search was the Cragston, Japan. Oh, this is actually a different listing though. Battery-operated Moon Explorer M27 with box and inserts. $1,200 with 24 bids on that.
Hey, Ronnie, that almost looks like that thing Star Wars. You know, the Walker. What is that thing called?
The
AT-AT.
AT-AT?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how it is?
Kind of maybe that's.
Imperial Walker.
Oh no, they wouldn't have taking inspiration for anything.
No, they wouldn't. Like the helmets.
Yeah. 10
George wouldn't have done that.
No.
Yeah.
10 litho space moon car, battery operated, Japanese, boxed with, it says it works. They've got a video listed so you can see how well it works, and must have been a good video. It brought $1,000
With 2 bids.
with 2 bids. So and that came from South Africa. Color Forms Outer Space Men Commander Comet. Mint carded vintage action figure.
That's nice.
I don't know of that one at all.
Well, you better get to know it for $1,000.
$1,000 to buy now. They got it.
Well, here comes one everybody needs.
Vintage Stevens Space Police Neuron Blaster.
Yeah, everybody needs a blaster.
Die cast cap
Gotta
gun.
have a ray gun.
Ray gun toy. That's pretty cool. They were wanting $1,200, and they got somewhere between $1,000 and $900 on it. That's pretty nice. Shogun Warriors Mattel Raideen Dragon. This is a lot of 5 jumbo Machinder
Space guys.
Unify. Yeah, 5 space robots. 36 bids, $883. Here's a Linmar 10 Smoking Spaceman in mint condition, original box, working, and it still smokes. 14 bids, $760.
You know,
I could swear I've seen that one.
that is a Marx. Marx, when they sent the company to Japan to make toys, they did it under Linmar.
Oh, okay. Here's an Apollo 11 and Saturn V launch vehicle model.
Bandy, that's another Japanese company.
Yeah, $625. All original Masuda Spaceship X5 rocket. It's a friction space toy robot, 1950. Tell us what a friction toy is. So
You know,
It's got a little wheel on the bottom of it, you know.
Yeah.
and you roll it, and it's got like a little engine.
Right.
That-
It winds it up.
a lot of those
Then you
would
let it
spark when
Yeah.
you let them
go.
go
A
too.
lot
It
of
seemed
them
like.
done that, yeah.
Okay. Apollo 13 and Saturn V. Oh, another bandy one. Sorry. 144 scale, $555. Gosh, what is this? Dead Mint Vintage 1977, 1984, 1985 Kenner Star Wars.
That's Power of the Force.
Yeah, yak. So it's the yak
Yak face.
face.
Yeah, they just-
okay.
I
They
don't know why
just
they put
they
all those-
tagged all that stuff just to make it
$640
difficult.
bucks.
$640 for one action figure. Here's another R2D2. They went for $617.
Loose.
It also has a pop-up lightsaber with it. Not that R2D2 carried a
I
lightsaber.
don't think that didn't come from the United States. Yet.
It doesn't show
What's
foreign
that? What's
country.
that next one you got there?
Fireball XL5 20-inch rocket ship. 8 figures, 3 are missing. Original box, multiple products, 1965. $600 was the buy now on that.
All right, we got 1 minute, so
Hey,
give
that's
us one
War of
good
the
item.
Worlds.
Oh, here is another of the R2D2s with a pop-up lightsaber. So there is a slot inside some R2D2s with a
I didn't know
lightsaber.
R2D2 had a lightsaber.
He did
Okay.
not, but these $582.99. People are buying them.
All right, so with that,
Get
guess what we got to do?
What are we gonna do?
There you go.
We got to get out of here.